my tribal ties here, I'm an enrolled member of the Amskapi Piikani. We're one of the 4 bands that make up the Blackfoot Confederacy, and we're the only ones that are located in the United States. The other tribes are located in Alberta, the Blood, the Siksika, and the Northern Piikani.
I am Andrew Morrison, Andrew Gosion Morrison, Wansta Nandanadite of Haida ancestry and San Carlos Apache.
What is it about Andrew's art that I'm drawn to? I feel like there's that life force behind it. Like every piece is a living, breathing piece, and I've never seen that before, and that's something that I see in every piece that he's done.
So in the past few years, I've worked with Andrew several times, and why I love reaching out to him is because he is, one, a very talented muralist, and you don't have to worry about him getting the job done, but 2 is he really listens and he observes, he watches things, and he listens to what people are saying, and he's so respectful, and he just wants to use his talent to share other people's vision.
Why do I believe in working with others and helping sharing the vision of others? I am a people person and I'm an artist, and I really enjoy working with other artists, and I really enjoy looking at other people's artwork. And if there's an opportunity for me to help spread someone's vision or to enrich their vision or make a situation possible artistically, I will. And that's what I was doing in Browning, Montana, working with Lauren Monroe Jr.
Working with Andrew and doing such a project this scale was absolutely mind-blowing. I've never done such a large-scale anything. I mean, most of my paintings are maybe 2 feet by 4 feet. And to be able to see that, a design I created and come to life before me having Andrew's help there is really inspiring to see it unfold. I was really hesitant because I was unsure of my skill level, but watching Andrew was really gave me a lot of confidence, and just being able to watch him work and ask questions really helped me as an artist.
How was it working with Lauren Monroe Jr.? It was really awesome working with Lauren. He is a very focused artist. He's he has an extensive knowledge of the Blackfoot people. He has an extensive knowledge of the terrain and the area. He's very friendly. He's very accommodating. He's on time. He's professional, and he knows how to build a good rapport with the team really quick.
Lauren Monroe, also a very talented artist, is his design, and Andrew really helped execute this project. And I love working with Andrew.
Both of Lauren and Andrew's art is very different. So seeing them come together, I think, is a wonderful thing because we've always shared.
What did I expect coming to Browning? I expected big skies, I expected big things, I expected big buffalo jerky, and I expected a lot of paint, and I got it all.
Way out, way out, way out.
Anywhere we do a project like this, the excitement grows, and people become interested in what the projects are about.
I have known Blackfeet people my entire life. There has been a big movement of Blackfoot people that have moved to Seattle, Washington, where I grew up throughout my whole life. I've known Terrence Gardepee, I've known Jeff Yellow Owl, Olive Jefferson, a number of Blackfeet artists. So, me coming into Browning, I came with a certain amount of knowledge of the area, a certain amount of knowledge of the culture.
The design I came up with and how it came was very organic. I knew that people would look at this as a symbol of our history and our cultural ties to the territory. And I really wanted it to be really inclusive of everybody here that calls this land home.
Here, when I lived far away and I would come home, I could feel inside my body, my molecules just open to the energy of the Blackfoot traditional territory because this is where all of my ancestors have come from.
What are traditional lands? Traditional lands are the Blackfeet Nation.
The mountains, we call them the Mistakis, the backbone of the world. They've always been really important to us as Blackfoot people. So we wanted to include those along with the river systems and our traditional Blackfoot imagery. And we had a lot of input from the community on things that we needed to focus on.
I love that they put the river system on this and that they also incorporated the Blackfoot names for it. I think that throughout Indian country there's a huge respect for water and waterways and the power that it provides everyone, and so I think it's a really significant statement being on this tank.
When you're coming up over that hill, when we were coming up that hill, and I saw the water tower, which is just like any other water tower, but it has this beauty and this vibrance, and it has the rivers that you can see those rivers, how they would look in the mountains, and they're coming down this way, and then there's that old man, and he's standing there, and he's looking out over his people, and it's like a renewed sense of hope.
We focused on Two Guns White Calf. There are many other chiefs in our history, but he was the one I think that took precedent in my head just to be acknowledged as far as working backward in time, because he had a difficult task of transitioning us as a people from a life of nomads in our territory to the reservation period.
What was it like painting Two Guns? It was an invigorating experience. Again, I got to work on a large scale. Painting large is what I prefer. Two Guns White Calf was 32 feet tall, 3 stories tall.
And I felt that we should honor our history by acknowledging him and what he went through to get us where we are today. And I think also historically too, it's just good to know who your leaders are.
I love the portrait. I'm just amazed to watch these go up so quickly and look so beautiful.
I wanted to symbolize his spirit and his soul and who he was. And I thought of all the elders, the Blackfoot elders, as I painted it, and I gave it my absolute best try. I put my absolute best effort into it. Every last inch, every muscle I had, I exerted so that I could do it in a truthful way.
I think like artists like myself and Andrew, the reason why we're able to communicate as opposed to like, you know, orators and things like that, and why we use like pictures and the visual arts is because it takes a certain individual and it's certain people who have that gift to create something to make people feel something, you know? Like having an image there, you know, keeps your focus on it and what that image means. And it takes a certain individual to articulate that.
Why is a collaboration like this with myself and Lauren Monroe Jr. important? It's important because some effort needs teamwork, and Native American communities are built within a collective unit of families and tribes and clans, and how we have survived historically has been grouping together and projecting a spirit of inclusiveness, and that's what this collaboration with Lauren Monroe Jr. has been. It has been both of us coming together as professional artists, putting together all of our similarities and putting forth an effort that can really show people visually how a true team works and how people of different tribal backgrounds can come together in unity.
When we create an image, you know, it sticks. It's always going to be that image, and it's going to change over time as the viewer gets deeper and deeper and deeper into it, because there's so many layers to it. You know, you see an image, then you'll get a feeling. Well, next day you'll get a different feeling about that same image. And I think that really speaks to the complexity of artists and why we're so important to our cultures.
What I really like about these projects is we're creating art for us.
Way out, way out, way out.
When I rolled up to the mural, I felt a shift.
A mural like this will bring art to the forefront. A mural like this will bring culture to the world view. A mural like this will bring colors to a prairie. A mural like this will bring smiles to the face of children, and a mural like this will bring optimism that is so high that you actually have to reach into the big sky.
Seeing these huge projects and these murals up there is going to start a fire, because a lot of times we kind of forgot who we were, and seeing who we are, you know, when you wake up in the morning is going to make that kid think, you know, hey, I could do that.
This is who we are. These are the people that we come from, and here's the 4 tribes, and here's the teepees. These are our homes, and we might have these square homes now, but you know, they're still our homes. And so I think that it gives it that little shift, and so and maybe that'll be the shift that some young person needs, or somebody my age, or somebody older.
Way out, way out, way out.
And they feel like this is, you know, kind of tells a story of who they are. And they're very...
There's so much story in this mural.
Why should the world know this story? This dream of a world should know this particular story because it's a part of humanity. The Blackfoot people and the Blackfeet Nation are part of a greater web of interconnected clans that spread throughout the entire world. A part of the Blackfeet Nation is a part of you. This is just one small glimpse into something that's so much bigger, so much more magnificent. These sprays of aerosol spray paint and these brush strokes of acrylic paint are representing so much history and are representing the prairie and representing the buffalo.
Why is it important for the world? Because I feel like the world is just now understanding that Indigenous people are still here and still very much alive. And while in some ways we've had to assimilate, it's like we've assimilated to a point to where we can now turn that assimilation back into our traditional ways. So our children might go to school, but they're learning about ledger art.
What is my experience with ledger art prior to this project? I know that ledger art is a historical form of artwork that the Native American people practice, especially the tribal people of the plains, when the reservation periods were beginning and tribal members were forced onto reservations, and the only thing that they had to work with as far as creating art was ledger paper.
The image, the final design, has a couple different motifs that are stars. Basically, there's round circles, and we call them puffballs, and we believe that they were fallen stars from the heavens, and they landed on Earth, and we have them on our lodges, the bottom part specifically, and those represent where we are as humans and where life is. And then we also have specific images for the stars too, in specific clusters, about 2 legends, the lost children, and the 7 brothers, and each ear flap represents that. And it's a story basically that we should take care of our children, otherwise they'll be taken from us, and we honor that by having it on our lodges.
Why are the stars unique on this particular mural? The stars are unique because they are traditional Blackfeet stars. The stars have been represented in many different forms and many different symbolic ways in different cultures throughout the world. And until I came to Browning, Montana, I wasn't familiar with the representation of these particular stars. And as Lauren Monroe Jr. began to paint the stars and tell me about why he was painting them in the order he was, it was very intriguing to me because I have never seen stars painted in this manner before. So it was an intense moment of educational knowledge that I was obtaining in real time.
So we focused on the straight up orb on it because I wanted something Blackfoot in there, and we have other headdresses. We have the Sioux style and a few others, but the straight up war bonnet is pretty synonymous with Blackfoot culture. It's one of our bonnets that you have to have a transfer for, you can't just wear it, whereas like the other flowback, as we call them, you know, almost anybody could wear them, but to have a straight up war bonnet is pretty special, and we hold on to that to this day. A lot of our leaders and cultural people still have the straight up war bonnets.
Way out, way out, way out.
Well, what did I help out with here? So for me, I come as support staff, and I help in any way that I can, and I really enjoy that. I worked with Andrew and his dad and Lauren to prime the tank, and that was a big muscle working job. And then I got to work on the pattern along the bottom.
You know, one thing I love about this mural is it incorporates the Blackfeet language, and so part of the mural is like their river system, and it has the traditional Blackfeet names on all of the rivers. And I think for Native people, well, that's one way that we can, you know, kind of go back to our roots and feel empowered and heal from everything that's happened in the recent past.
And the wind, some people, it's a hard time for them to listen to the wind, but for me, you know, it reminds me of the happiest memories of being at my dad's house on the land, on the Blood Reserve, because that's my home.
Some of the challenges that faced us right off the bat was definitely the wind. Like, we sit right at the, you know, backbone of the world, right off the mountain, so the wind was hitting us like all day, every day, and it didn't let up. And sometimes we had to adapt. Instead of using spray paint, and we'd use, you know, brushes and hit it. And I think just being focused, you know, and just being persistent, even with that wind being there, was one of our biggest challenges, for sure.
What were the challenges of this project? One of the biggest challenges was the wind. The wind just did not stop. The wind came off of the Rockies and came down onto the plains. And at one point, I could no longer paint with spray paint aerosol. I had to put down the cans and pick up paint brushes and paint with actual paint brushes. So that's how we overcame that.
Were there any challenges with this project? You know, there's always challenges, but I think, you know, we partnered with the tribe here, and I think tribal people are very good at finding solutions to challenges.
Way out, way out, way out. Way out, way out, way out.
And I think the design turned out excellent because it really, I think, resonated to a lot of people from this community at a core level.
I had a wonderful time coming here to Browning. There's no place like it on earth. That Montana is as beautiful as anybody has ever said to you, or anything you've read or saw in the movies. It's more beautiful. It's a very rich land, and the mural took 3 days to paint. It was painting night and day, and it was a great effort on the Blackfeet Nation to bring us here, and it's in memory of all Native American people from, distant past to the future.
And I learned a lot from this project. It's my first one, and I'm really, really hopeful that we'll work together and we'll get other projects busted out in my community.
If I were to talk to a visitor that was coming to Browning for the first time and they were to see this mural, I would say, remember, whose lands these are. These lands, were traditional lands of the Blackfeet people. And I think that they're one of the really lucky tribes that ended up their reservations on their traditional lands. And so I would just say, reflect on that and respect that, because you're in their nation. So.
Yeah, I would just tell them they're artists and embrace that. Keep making art.
I would say this is a living, breathing culture. And here's proof. While we may have this water tower, which could be anywhere, we've taken it over and made it our own and created beauty, because that's who we are.
I have come as a guest to the Blackfeet Nation, and I served as best I could with honor for the love of the tribe in Browning, Montana, and the whole Blackfeet Nation on the United States side and the Canada side. And I work in truth.
Way out.